Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the latest edition of Terrace Talk. A disappointing night at the Riverside last night for Norwich City. Of course, the red card that changed the game. They'll be hoping to bounce back on Saturday when they face Rotherham United at Carrow Road. And with that, delighted to be joined by Matt from New York Talk podcast. Matt, it's a difficult one. I would say, how are you? But given kind of the situation at Rotherham this season, it's been difficult. Rock bottom at the moment on 19 points. Only 3 wins all season, and one of those actually against Norwich, funny enough. 8 consecutive defeats, a 5-0 defeat on Tuesday night. All makes for very grim reading. What's the mood like at the moment at the New York Stadium?
Very much like the league position. It's just rock bottom. It's just been a disaster. Everything was looking good when we played you guys. It was a massive air of positivity. It was just going into the first international break. You guys were on an incredible run of form, and we beat you. So I think, right, this is brilliant. There was a plan. We could understand it. It all made kind of sense. And then literally from the next game onwards, it's just been downhill since then. Just an absolute disaster. Recruitment in the summer turns out it was wrong. We got a lot of good experienced players in, but half of them got injured, and the other half that played haven't quite matched up to what we thought they were going to be, which is what cost Matt Taylor his job. Liam Richardson's come in, but he's got a couple of hands tied behind his back. In terms of came in 8 points adrift already, which is not a good start. And then January transfer was an absolute disaster as well. We made 3 signings all on deadline day, which all feel a little bit panicky. So yeah, an absolute disaster of a season. Can't wait for it to finish.
Yeah, I can imagine it's not been the easiest. You mentioned Matt Taylor there, sacked mid-November after a 5-0 defeat to Watford. You're third bottom at that point, just 2 wins from 16, but the correct decision at the time, or obviously now in the benefit of hindsight, given kind of the situation that's unfolded with Liam Richardson, maybe the wrong decision?
I still think it was the right decision. We were going nowhere. The difference was, under Matt Taylor, we were quite good at home. We weren't always winning, but we were picking up points. We drew against Leeds, drew against Ipswich, obviously beat you guys, almost picked up some against Leicester. We were quite good under Matt Taylor. Away from home, we were just abysmal, completely atrocious. And that's what's cost me his job in the end. You know, we lost 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. They were winless when we went to Sheffield Wednesday, which was our big derby. We went there and put in an absolutely abject performance. And then he was given a bit of time to fair. He gave it a couple of weeks, and then we went to Watford and lost 5-0, which was as bad as the Sheffield Wednesday game. We were going nowhere under Matt Taylor. We'd have probably picked up a few more wins at home, but we still wouldn't be safe. We still wouldn't be anywhere near survival under Matt Taylor. Liam Richardson has come in and showed up. Away from home, we're better. I said that after lost 5-0 on Tuesday, I suppose. But we are better away from home, but we're worse at home. So it's just sort of flipped a little bit. And these aren't Liam Richardson's players, so he's got a bit of leeway. Not much, having the past 2 results, but yes, it's grim.
Yeah. You mentioned him there, Liam Richardson, and pointed on the 11th of December. Just 1 win so far. I think it's 6 points he's picked up since he's been in the dugout. Do you think he's going to get time? You know, next season it probably looks like you're heading to League One, unless there's some absolute miraculous turnaround in the last 10 games. Is he the right man to lead you forward? Do you feel?
Probably. His record in League One with Wigan is very, very good. He took over Wigan when they were in a much worse place than we were financially, on the ropes, and managed to keep them up, and then managed to win the league the following season. So the credentials are there. The last couple of games, I'm starting to maybe question whether the players are playing for him. And like I said, they're not his players, but at the same time, I still got to see something. The first half against Coventry, he said it was the worst 45 minutes he's had in football. Well, that's if it was his first couple of games, you could sort of say, right, he's getting used to his players, understanding them. He's been here since December. So if he can't get even a little bit of a tune out of these players now, is he going to be able to in the summer? But then the flip side of that is, like I said, they're not his players. And I think we've got about 13 players out of contract, plus the 4 or 5 loans we've got. So he's going to have a blank canvas almost. So then he can bring his own players in at a level he knows and then move forward. 1 win in 16, 17 games, wherever it is, you're always going to be under pressure. Even when he came in, I think most Rotherham fans accepted we were probably on a high to nothing anyway. 8 points adrift by Christmas, you're going to struggle. But we're just not seeing anything to sort of grab hold of. You know, even when relegation, there's always something to sort of you grab onto and hold on to as a positive. There's literally nothing positive other than a goalkeeper to talk about. So he's obviously going to be questioned. Tony Stewart, the chairman's come out and said that he's basically said that he's going to be here next season, but that was before the 5-0 loss. So I don't know if that would change his mind or not. And if we get another few beatings, will that change the mind or not? I don't know, but by all accounts, he will be here next season.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of the players maybe not being his. Have you seen a difference in playing style that he's brought to the New York Stadium, maybe compared to Matt Taylor or Paul Warren previously, or is it very much kind of the Rotherham ilk and you kind of know what you're going to get?
No, it's not a Rotherham ilk at all. He has changed the style. He's changed it so we're fairly difficult to break down. We're not an entertaining football team at all. They're dull games of football to watch at the minute. We're not progressive with the ball. We're solid without the ball, but not that solid, as proven by Tuesday's result at Coventry. I can see what he's trying to do. I get it, and I understand. He's trying not to lose 5-0 every week. I know we do lose, but that is his MO, or certainly has been so far. So we'll try and make it not a very pleasant game to watch. We'll probably time waste from the first couple of minutes, hoping for pick up a point. If we get into a game, we can do it. We've lost 4-3 to Ipswich a few weeks ago. We were 3-1 down and came back to draw. So we have got it in us to do that, but it's 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and that's obviously where we are. But yeah, it'll be a sitting job, make things difficult. If you get an early goal, like Coventry did, it'll be a cricket score. But obviously, the longer it goes on, the more chance we have. But not much of a chance anyway.
Yeah, you mentioned that Coventry result. I mean, what sort of response do you want to see from this Rotherham side on Saturday? Is it kind of just putting in a really solid performance, maybe show something at Carrow Road, or how do you think they kind of pick themselves up after a pretty crushing defeat? Yeah,
they're a big test for Liam Richardson, this, because if he can't pick him up after a 5-0 defeat, where does he go from that? As a fan base, we just want to be entertained. If we're going to lose, let's lose 5-2, 5-3, 6-4, something. Let's just be aggressive. Let's be positive about it. At the minute, we're just rolling over and having his belly tickled, and it's just an absolute nightmare to see. I want to see us be positive. We won't be. We won't be. We'll do what I just said a minute ago. Be dull. But if we're not going to be positive, at least get in your face. So the Rotherham way, as you mentioned, the Paul Warren was, let's be aggressive. We might not get beyond the ball, but we're not going to make it easy for you. You know, you're not going to be comfortable. Your defenders, midfielders are not going to be comfortable on the ball. Whereas at the minute, it's just a kind of a free for all for the opposite defenders and midfielders, which makes it very easy for the attackers. We've got to expect a response. That's what you have to expect. Bearing in mind, lost 5-0. I'm not convinced we'll see it, but I expect those players to step it up from Tuesday, because that was below the standard of. We've made it, but beat 5-0 a couple of weeks back. We're on level par we made with them at the minute, which is a concerning position to be in, because having watched the Maidstone game and watched our game, Coventry were as comfortable in both games, and that's a massive concern how comfortable Coventry were against us. So I just want to see us compete, and that's a really low bar. I know it's a low bar, but that's all I want. I just want to see us compete with you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one player that will be up for the competing on Saturday, a player that formerly used to play for Norwich City, happened to bump into him actually yesterday at the Riverside in the Norwich away end. 35 games for Rotherham so far this season, 3 goals, 1 assist. Joined last season, it was around the January time, wasn't it? He scored some pretty crucial goals in sort of you staying up last season. How did the Millers rate Jordan Hugill?
He was crucial last season. Like I said, they scored 5 or 6 goals, whatever it was last season. All winning goals, I think, other than one penalty of Bristol City. They're all basically crucial goals in terms of tipping it in our direction. He started the season okay, but at the minute, I know he's very highly thought of in Norwich, but he's not cutting the mustard, to be honest with you, at the minute. He's kind of playing like a guy who was just here to pick up the contract, 2.5 years left on his contract. That's kind of how he is. I don't know whether Liam Richardson doesn't fancy him, although he did give him the captain's armband on Tuesday. He's trying to win fouls all the time. And when you're at the bottom end of the table, as you guys would have found in the Premier League, you don't get those fouls. You don't get those niggly little things. So he's not adjusted to playing for a team that's a low end of the table at all. His legs look like they've gone. I don't know whether he's never always been fast. I know that, but he's a yard or two off everybody else on the pitch. He's causing us more problems. It sounds really harsh, and I'm really sorry to him if he's watching, but he's causing us more problems than he's giving. We've got Tom Eaves and Sam Nombe who I would prefer in front of him. They work much harder than Hugo's been doing for us this season. He's really struggling. I don't think he'll see him in League One anyway. So if we go down, I think he'll be gone, which maybe plays into why he's playing, because he's looking beyond this season as well. But he's like everybody else in the squad. He's having an absolute torrid time.
Yeah, I'm going to probably give you a difficult task now, trying to pick out a danger man from a Rotherham perspective on Saturday. There's probably a few from looking inside. I mean, I've always been a relatively big fan of Johansson in goal. I've always thought he's a very good goalkeeper for this level. Adofin, I think, at centre-backs scored a few goals so far this season. Is there anyone that you could pick out as someone Norwich fans should be aware of?
It's just literally those two. That's it. Victor's brilliant. Victor, he made a mistake. If Henry's watched about the Coventry goals from Tuesday, he literally dropped the ball on the 6-yard line. He's never done that before. I think this season's wearing everybody down, and I suspect that's where the mistakes come from. He's another one that won't be here next summer. But he is in contract, but he's not playing in League One. He's far too good for League One. And bear in mind how much position I think you guys will get. You'll probably get to see hopefully a bit of an exhibition in goalkeeping from Victor, because he's a ridiculously good goalkeeper. Adofin, you're right, he's playing centre half. The annoying thing about Adofin is he's brilliant at centre half, but he's our best midfielder. Right. He's our best attacking midfielder. But because of injuries and everything else, he's having to fill in at centre half. And to say fill in is actually harsh on him. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant there. He's one of those few that you can sort of say is actually showing something. He's winning every header. He's battling for everything, and this, that, and the other. He will probably be with us next season. I'd make him captain, to be honest with you, but bear in mind who's going to be here. There's a lot to like about him. He's big, and he's strong, he's fast. There's a lot to like about Adofin. But get him in midfield. That's what we want him. Just want him out of defence.
Yeah, before we talk the game on Saturday, what are your hopes now for the rest of the season? I think there's a few stats that you'll be hoping maybe not to break. I think it's the lowest championship points total. I think 23, which you set a few years back. You're currently on 19. You need 5 points to obviously beat that, or 4 points to match it. Is that something you feel that Rotherham can do?
At the minute, no. I honestly can't see where the next point's coming from. We're currently on an 8-game winless record streak. The club record's 10, so that's another record that's in sight. We hold the lowest points total of 23. We also currently hold the third lowest with 29 in 2005, I think, as well. So we're probably going to, get another podium position in terms of lowest points total. I just want to, like I mentioned, I just want to have some fun. This has been one of the most soul-destroying seasons we've had, and like I said, it's not longer since we've got 23. It's just been so tough. Let's just go out and have some positive. When we lost 4-3 against Ipswich, we lost, but I finished the game and I was just happy because we'd actually put something on somebody and made life difficult. That's all I want. If we lose every game between now and end of the season, 4-3, 4-2, 3-2, something like that, I could probably accept. I could sit at the end of the season and say, yeah, it's been a terrible season, but I can be happy about the performances. That's all we want. And again, it's a low bar, but let's just try and have some fun in the next 10 games. Yeah,
well, I wondered if you've seen much of Norwich this season. Of course, we lost at your place late August, 2-1. A relatively positive performance from Rotherham on that occasion. Norwich very much below par. Have you seen much of us on the TV? And what do you make of maybe the playoff race? Do you think Norwich have got what it takes to try and sneak in there?
Absolutely. I've not seen too much of Norwich. Watched obviously the derby with Ipswich, which was an entertaining game. The championship this season is brilliant. You got 3 different battles. You got the automatic promotion battle, the playoff battle, and the relegation battle. All 3 are brilliant. They're so good. The playoff and the relegation battles tend to be much more fun as an outsider because you expect you to beat Middlesbrough because they're in a poor run, but you lose, and then other teams win, and the relegation it's really fun. It's probably the playoff for you guys, and there's only one spot realistically available. West Brom will probably pick up that 5th place. Oh, it's fairly close. I think they will probably get the 5th spot. So then you've only got one spot available, and there's quite a lot of teams probably fancying that. Norwich have got some good players. Norwich have got a really good squad. So I think it's there for the taking. But your inconsistencies and performance like you did against us early in the season is what's going to probably stop you from being there. Having said that, whoever gets 5th and 6th, I don't think it matters because whoever finishes 3rd or 4th will probably go up anyway. Yeah. But it's playoffs. You never know. We've all seen stupid, crazy things happen in the playoffs, and I don't know is the answer. But I quite like Norwich. Got a bit of soft spot for Norwich. I don't mind Norwich, so I'd be happy to see you guys get there.
Yeah, we'll see what we get by the end of the season. It's going to be an entertaining last 10 games. Now, moving forwards to Saturday's game, is there any sort of key injuries or issues in the Rotherham camp? And maybe what sort of starting 11 do you feel Liam Richardson's going to pick for Saturday's game?
Yeah, riddled by injuries, which again is the story of the season. Sean Morris, the club captain's got an unspecified calf injury. Lee Peltier, who was again one of the captains that played, he's injured. We're playing like Hakim Adofin, who is a better midfielder at centre half. We're playing Seb Revan as another who is a left wing back at centre half. So it's a makeshift position that way. We'll hopefully have Ollie Rathbone back. He's been out for 2 weeks with concussion, so hopefully he'll be back and raring to go. Ollie Rathbone's one of those players that when Ollie Rathbone plays well, Rotherham play well. Is that Paul one time? He's aggressive. He's always everywhere, and he's maybe been a bit below par. But if he can get back playing, then I'd expect that to be a positive. It is hope more than expectation. I hope we have a positive performance. Hope we have a positive result. I think we'll go 3-5-2. That's how we've basically been going. There's a chance we might go an extra man in midfield and with just one striker. But I think with that stage of the season, may as well go 3-5-2 and maybe hope for the best a little bit. I think that's where I'll go. So I'll probably be Nombe and Tom Eaves up top, which doesn't scream goals. I think I've got 6 goals between them, but that's all we've got really.
Yeah, so moving on to the game, I'm going to try and get a score prediction from you. I don't think Rotherham have won at Carrow Road since 1966. Good year, of course, from an England perspective. But I don't think you've won on the road at all in the Championship since November 22 at Sheffield United. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my research is right. So it's there to be broken. Are you fancying a Rotherham win on Saturday?
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's 31 league games without away victory, 33 if you count the 2 cup games in as well. Yeah, it'll probably be 3 or 4-1. I'll go 4-1 to you guys. So hopefully we'll get a goal this time. But like I say, if Norwich get an early goal, it'll be one of the most comfortable games you've had all season. Because we will fold like the cheapest deck of cards you've ever seen, sadly.
Yeah, it feels like it's all set up for a Norwich win, but these things never really tend to work in our favour, as you've of course found out at the New York Stadium. We tend to probably maybe not necessarily perform against sides that we should be beating, as last night demonstrated as well. So we should get a good game. And finally, Matt, just want to plug your podcast and where Norwich and Rotherham fans can go and find your content.
Yeah, it was a New York Talk. We're on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll do a preview of it, which we'll probably already be up to out Thursday night, and then we'll review it on Sunday evening if you want some Millers chat with lots of glum-looking Rotherham fans talking.
There we go. We'll link all that good stuff down below. Of course, head over there and check Matt's stuff out. Matt, really do appreciate your time this evening. I know it's not probably the easiest to be talking about your club when they're not performing well. I've had that in the Premier League. So it's, it's difficult, but really do appreciate your time. And I'm sure all the Norwich fans really appreciate your time as well and all the comments. I'm looking forward to Saturday's game back at Carrow Road. Norwich, of course, hoping to extend their really good run at Carrow Road and, of course, try and push back into the top 6. I think Hull have got Leicester this weekend, so there's an opportunity to get back in the top 6 with a win. And, of course, hopefully Leicester can do the business for us and, we make up for the lost ground we made last night. With that, we're going to sign off. Obviously, another big couple of weeks for Norwich City in their promotion push or playoff push, depending on which way it's going to go. They'll be Stoke next week, so looking forward to that Terrace Talk already, and we'll see you then.